Yeah, hi guys, it's Harpreet Singh. Today I want to talk about a topic which I think many people have asked me questions. It's about what are the requirements when you want to enter to United States, either the requirement about the testing or if you have been vaccinated or not. So what are those basic requirements from November 8th you have to have if you want to board a plane to come to United States. So I will mention all those requirements. So look through the video. Good news, guys. So if you want to travel to United States, now you can travel. If you want to just roam around as a tourist and want to check out different places you have been thinking about throughout the COVID period, now it's the time. From November 8th, the United States have opened their borders. If you want to travel to United States, you can travel now. You can get different kind of visas. Still, if you already have a visa, like a tourist visa, you can travel to United States, but there are two requirements for that. One, you need to be fully vaccinated, and second is the COVID test. So let me cover the full vaccination requirement. So the US needs, now that you are fully vaccinated, from a vaccine which is approved by WHO or FDA. So the vaccines, if I talk about in perspective of India, so Covishield and Covaxin are recently approved by WHO through their emergency use authorizations. So if you have Covishield, Covaxin, Johnson and Johnson, so those vaccines are approved. So US will admit you based on the having those vaccines. But let me cover in detail about what is the specific requirement. To being fully vaccinated means you need to have both the doses taken. Because if you see the Covishield and Covaxin, there are two dose requirement to be considered fully vaccinated. So you need to have both the doses before you can request a boarding pass from your airline. Another requirement is that your second dose need to be taken more than 2 weeks before you're boarding the plane, because as you know, probably you have heard that it takes about 2 weeks time frame for antibodies to kick in and to get that immunity from COVID through these vaccines. So at least 2 weeks before you're boarding the plane, you need to complete your second dose requirement. So how you can prove you have got the vaccine? Obviously, when you get a vaccine, then you get a certificate either on your phone or your email. So you need to print that and take that with you when you are traveling and to show it to the airline staff member to get your boarding pass. So that's a requirement for the foreign national and also US citizen and legal permanent residents. And I will talk in a minute about how US citizens and legal permanent residents can skip that requirement. So if you are thinking about, if I don't have that vaccine, so is there any way to like have an exemption? There is a very rare chance you can get an exemption. So you need to apply to CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, which is an agency of United States who can provide you exemption from this vaccine requirement. Probably you are a foreign national and your doctor recommends you not to take vaccine because the medical situation doesn't allow you to take vaccine, it will harm you in some way. You can request CDC to have that exemption, but it is very rare, and you need to have that exemption letter from CDC beforehand, not while you're just going to the airport and then saying to the airline staff member to have that exemption provided. So you can get an exemption, but it would be very rare. So the second requirement is, as you have also seen, I think with US and also other countries, you need to have a negative COVID test before you travel to United States. So since last year, US has this requirement that you have to have a negative COVID test within 3 days of your travel date or which means within 3 days of your first departure airline, if you are suppose on a connecting flight. For example, if suppose I want to leave, if you are taking a flight from New Delhi, or if suppose from Amritsar you are taking a flight on November 28th, then you need to have a COVID result which is completed and you provided the sample on November 25th. So that would meet the requirement. If you have a negative COVID result, you can show the report, the negative report, to the airline staff member to get your boarding pass, in addition to the fully vaccination. So that's for all air travelers which need to travel to United States. But there is a special exception. If suppose you are a US citizen and legal permanent resident, you don't have to be fully vaccinated, because for US citizens, the US cannot bar their own citizens to come to their country. It's not allowed under US Constitution. So because of that, there is a special requirement for US citizens and legal permanent residents, and some small number of people who got exemption from CDC, who are foreign nationals. They need to show, if they are not fully vaccinated, they need to show a negative COVID result which was taken within 1 day of their travel. Instead of 3 days, now they have to show a 1 day negative report from their travel. So this is more like strict requirement. If you are not fully vaccinated and you are a US citizen, permanent legal resident, or an exempt foreign national. So these are the both requirements, and I think you have probably got the information which you were looking for. So I will cover in more detail about specific question people may have, which are covered also by the State Department. So I will cover those questions about these both requirements, and you can check out the next videos about that. And thank you for watching this video.